We're live.
What is up, America? All the TNF Tuesday Night Football fans, not just around the country, around the globe. We are now officially global. Shout out to
Worldwide.
Melvin. Shout out to our
Worldwide.
boy Melvin, worldwide. Welcome back. The podcast has returned. This is season 2 of Tuesday Night Football. And I believe that Kenny has some words he'd like to share with everybody, really.
Yes. So if you're new to the show, my name is Kenny Nicholson. That is my co-host, Richard Mignette. We are coming live season 2 of the pod. We talk fantasy, we talk football.
We
We're
talk
big
life.
talk life. Yeah, we're talking about, maybe we extend these to 3 hours. We'll see. Just kidding. But yeah, so I want to say a couple things. So as you can see here, there is a trophy behind me. I am the recent champion of our fantasy football league, Bucks Offseason League. I want to thank myself mostly because I'm the one who put the team together. I want to thank Jared for that key trade towards the end of the year for putting me in the position to win the championship. I have that little sleeper gold medal icon next to me the whole year. I would like to be
What
treated.
was just for any new people who might not have remembered, what was the trade?
So I don't remember all the exact players, but I'll tell you the big ones. So I traded away AJ Brown right before his big fall off. I kind of took a shot there, it paid off, and I think I threw in somebody else. And he gave me Ayuk, Puka, and somebody else that was really good. I probably should have did a little research for this call, this podcast,
I
but
put you on the spot there.
yeah, you're good. You're good. It was three key players though that essentially catapulted my team. I made a risky trade with Nicky. I gave him Kyron. He gave me La Porta from the Lions. That actually ended up working out. Laporta was dropping like 20 bombs every week. Kyron did do well, but it ended up evening out. I put up like 189 points in the championship week. I'm the champion forever. I got a ring over there. I got this trophy in my office that's been sitting there for quite a while. Part of me I kind of want to pass it on to somebody, but also I do want to keep it and just put another name up there of myself. Going to be doing everything in my power to do that without sacrificing my personal relationships with my loved ones. So, further ado, let's kick it off.
Yeah, man, the group message was spicy this morning. A lot of trade talk, a lot of waiver talk, a lot of IR talk. Shout out to Puka Nakua. He's officially on IR. That was a big, big, big topic yesterday. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's been listen, anytime it's mid-September right now. Um, and it's just that different smell in the air. You know, you walk outside, it just feels a little different. You know what I mean? It's I don't know how to describe it. We're not quite there yet. Once you get to mid-October and early November, that's when it's like, whoa. Like I'm just like, whoa, football, whoa, everywhere. Um, but yeah, so we did start last week. We'll just do a little quick recap of the games, see who won, see who lost. I don't know
Yeah.
who put up the most points.
Who put up the most points? I think it was either you. It was you. Was it
Oh,
you?
was it me?
Oh,
Oh,
I see what
what
you're
the
doing here.
what?
I
No
see.
way. I thought it was 150. Oh, 158 was Lee. Oh, 165. Wow.
Yeah, I fell right into a trap.
Wow, that's crazy. That's a lot of points. All right. We'll get into it. We're back for like I said, the season has returned. We did a draft. Everybody obviously did a draft. Um, we all feel good about our teams. Some feel better than others. There was a lot of trades, a lot of activity, a lot of talk today. It's only week 2. I try to stress that it's only week 2. You know, we got a long season ahead of us. We got 3 months ahead of us. So just some people want to make trades, but you don't have to. Um,
Do that.
what we do? What do we
Sorry
want
for
to
coughing
do?
in the mic
We
here.
want to do just we'll recap. We'll start with we'll go from the bottom up. Um, Stallions. Shout out to Mike, father of two.
Father
Um,
of two.
beat
He was a
Nikki. He
father
beat
of
him by
one
10
last year.
points.
Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
Mike was a father of one by the last episode, and then the new episode now he's a father of two.
Yep.
So
That's like life is crazy, man.
by
Not
the
yeah.
next season, he potentially
We
fathered
could
three.
be a
We'll
father
see.
of 3.
Three, maybe. We'll see.
I
But
don't know.
sorry, let you continue.
Um, Mike did beat Nikki 127 to 117. I love how Nikki kept the Aaron ayahuasca camp. That's great. Um,
Great
logo
name.
and name.
Yeah, iconic, iconic.
Taylor Gang beat Dan by 1.16. That's
Oh, that was a
unbelievable, man.
crazy one.
Yep. 1.16. Grant unexpectedly did not show up. He only put up 84. And oh, well, he didn't have CMC. Marvin Harrison dropped to 1.4. That's not great. And Mark Andrews only had 3 as well. So he just had a lot of underperformers. And Lee also did put up 158. So I mean, what do you?
Yeah, Lee, I got to give Lee props. Last year, I think he drafted Lamar in like the first round or something. He's come a long way. His team, I mean, obviously fantasy involves a little bit of luck, but I will say he did a really good job this year. He's got Bijan, Kyron, he's got J.K. Dobbins on his bench, Ramondre Stevenson on his bench. That's a stable of running backs.
Yep.
Mike
Yep.
Evans, who I'm repping, one of
Yep.
the greatest Buccaneer of all time. It's little video that came out earlier today with the I
Shout
forgot that
out,
guy's
shout out
name
Kyle
from
Brandt.
Kyle Brandt.
Yep.
Mike Evans, Devontae Smith, Zay Flowers, Xavier Worthy had a big game. He could pop off. So Lee's looking really good right now. We'll see. Hopefully he doesn't screw anything up. But right now, looking good.
Yep. Jake beat up on you.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
So lost Puka, which just got news, hot off the press that he might miss more than 4 weeks, which sucks.
Ooh, really?
Yeah,
I'm
apparently
not even being sarcastic. Jeez.
no, the uniqueness of his knee injury that he re-aggravated, that he was going through the training camp. He has re-injured that same knee. It was called something
Wow.
sac, like the bursa sac in your knee. Not making a joke, that's literally what it's called. So yeah, I mean, I made some trades today. I got kind of aggressive. I traded away Brees Hall. I
Yeah,
traded
we'll get it.
away.
We'll do all the
Okay,
trades after. Yeah, yeah. We'll
that
do a
sounds
full
good.
breakdown.
But yeah, no, lost to Jake. Jake had a good week. Chris Godwin played way better than I expected.
Great game.
Stephon Diggs from Jake's team played way better than I expected. And I got
Yep.
beat, man. There's nothing else to do. Nothing else to say.
Nothing else you can really do.
Week one. So
And then I did beat JJ by looks like 34, but there's nothing. I mean, I just had a good week. I don't know what else to say about that. I mean, I didn't expect Cooper to drop a 32 piece. Um, guys play well. They listen. I had talked to them before the season. Said, hey guys, let's just put our best foot forward. That's all we can do. One game at a time. Just get better. Everybody do their job. And I guess they received the message. Did have to drop the Bucks defense. Didn't want to do that, but a lot of injuries this last week. So, looking forward to week 2 as well. So yeah. So okay, we talked about the recap. Let me just quickly go. Who's 1-0? Who's 0-1? Um, this is
uh,
everybody who's 1-0. Me, Lee, Jared, Jake, Mike. 1-0. 0-1. Dan, JJ, Kenny, Nikki, Grant. That's a little recap right there. Boom, boom. 1-0,
yeah.
0-1. It's a new segment called 1-0, 0-1. Figure that out. Okay, so let's start off the trade talk. You want to get into your trade with? Did you make a couple trades today?
Uh, Across different leagues. This league I made one
Okay,
trade.
one trade. So
Um,
let's get into
yeah,
that one trade.
think I actually made like 3 trades today, but yeah, I have a problem. Um,
Tradeaholic.
yeah. So today made a big trade, blockbuster trade. Thought it would get more traction in the chat. Actually, Jared and I texted separately saying, "Wow, the league really doesn't care about this." Um, I traded away Brees Hall and Devontae Adams. I lost Puka. Okay, my mindset around that was I need some type of wide receiver that's could be a superstar. So I traded away again Brees Hall, Devontae Adams. In return, I got Joe Mixon and Garrett Wilson. I am kind of taking a risk. I think Joe Mixon will have a really, really good year based on his week 1 performance. He looked outstanding. Garrett Wilson kind of had a down week, but he is Garrett Wilson. Aaron Rodgers throwing it to him. If Aaron Rodgers is 10% better than Zach Wilson, Garrett Wilson should have a great year. A lot of Wilsons.
And
So
their
that's
offensive line is very much improved.
offensive line is improved, which kind of hurts to say because I also had Brees in that trade, kind of give that away. But yeah, so that's kind of the main one there. We had a couple other trades that went down. I believe Dan traded away James Cook for Mike to get
Yeah, let me see.
James
We did
Conner.
a small 1-for-1 James Cook, James Conner. I don't really know where those guys were drafted. That kind of seems. I mean,
To be
who?
honest, if we're being honest,
I think
I
Cook is
think
a little
I'd
bit more
rather have
valuable
Cook.
than.
Yeah,
Yeah, a
I'd
little.
probably rather have Cook.
Yeah,
Dan could see something in James Conner. You never know.
yeah.
Dan did do an
He
infamous
he
trade
traded
last
for.
year.
I think me and Dan traded each other James Conner twice last year. So he could be a James Conner. He just might like James Conner a lot.
Yeah.
Um, and
What's good?
then so we got that one. Just some little commentary on your trade. Grant, very fair. Jared won this though. Eyeball emoji.
Yeah, I put one of these emojis to that. Like
Yeah.
I don't know about
And
that.
Dan said, "Wow." A lot of guys put on the trade block. Amari Cooper, Jordan Addison, T. Higgins, Hollywood Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, a lot of receivers on the trade block in the PPR league.
Yeah,
And then Jared rolled over that trade and traded with Dan for Brian Thomas and Chris Olave. He traded Devontae Adams and Jordan Reed. So
Jaden.
I think
Yeah,
Jaden Reed.
Jaden Reed.
I think Devontae Adams was on Jared's team for less than an hour.
Yeah, maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I think
Cup
in
of
my
coffee.
in my opinion, that trade is. I think I said in the chat, it's upside versus reliability.
Hmm.
Devontae Adams, Jaden Reed. I feel like you're getting some reliable people there. Jared's taking the risk. Brian Thomas, 1 game in, not super proven yet, but he did look really good. LSU wide receiver U, and then Chris Olave, who, that's a tough
I
situation.
think I mean he was talking about trading me Jaden Reed. I won't disclose the trades. But unfortunately I like Jaden Reed. I think he had a great week 1 performance, but when you lose Jordan Love for, who knows, um, it's going to be a question mark. So I think he probably feels the same way considering he traded him.
Yeah,
Brian Thomas looked good.
he
I
did.
think that he could step up to be the number 1 in Jacksonville. I know
Oh yeah,
they got Gabe Davis. They also have Christian Kirk. I know they don't have Ridley anymore. So there is a void there for that number 1. Maybe Brian Thomas just comes and takes it. Chris Olave, Saints put up 47. I think he only had 2 fantasy points. So that's a little concerning. Um, and then Devontae, we all know how special Devontae is. It's just a matter of,
quarterback.
yeah, quarterback. Is he going to get the ball? Where does he get the ball? Things of that nature. So that trade is a little bit more murky than the trade you guys did, but overall, you like to see the trades going on. I mean, Alvin Kamara's added to the trade block, and yeah. So overall, today was a fast firing day. I think there was a lot more trades last year. I think maybe you guys were a little loosey goosey because it was a low buy-in. Buy-in's been upped a little bit to an undisclosed amount.
That's
Um,
close. Yeah,
so that might change
monopoly.
people's perspectives. But overall, football, is the greatest sport on the planet. So
Football's back.
I love to see trades. I love public negotiations. Um, so we'll see who goes 1-0. Excuse me, who goes 2-0, who goes 1-1, who goes 0-2 this week.
Yeah, don't want to be the
Someone's
only
gonna
two.
someone's gonna start 0-2. Someone's gonna start 2-0. Someone's gonna start 1-1. It's just the way the business works.
That's actually true. We got Grant versus Nikki, battle of 0-1. So yeah, somebody will be 0-2. That's the only
Yep.
0-1 battle.
Yep.
So yeah, hopefully it's not me. Richard's off to a great start. The Bandits, they are 1-0.
Well, it's week 1. Let's
I
just
mean,
keep it at that.
I think week one's it's a telling week.
Uh,
Cup hit so far. I mean, it's what
Cup.
we again 1 week.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's gonna be big for you. That's gonna
Yep.
be really big for you.
Him dropping a 32 piece like that was getting 50 points on Sunday Night Football was not what I expected at all, and that was awesome. So, shout out to Cooper Cup. He said that he was going to avenge himself, and he certainly did as far as week 1 is concerned. All right, let's get into our picks.
Want to hop into picks? All
Let's
righty.
hop into the picks, baby.
Let's get set up here.
You see what I'm rocking here? I'm rocking the Reggie Bush OG. Before there was a Devon Achane, there was a Reggie Bush. Before there was a Jahmyr Gibbs, there was a Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush was the first to do it, the first scat back. Okay, so we got Thursday Night Football, first one of the year. Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit. Shout out to Al Michaels. Everyone says Al Michaels is finished. He's old. No, he's not. He's still one of the greatest voices of our generation, of multiple generations. Kirk Herbstreit. Yeah, that's the comment on Kirk Herbstreit. We like Kirk Herbstreit, but he's been pretty rude to
He's
us FSU
anti
alumni.
Knowles right here.
Yeah, he doesn't like the Knowles. All right, so we got Bills and Dolphins in Miami. Both 1-0, a great division matchup. I personally think that the Dolphins are going to win the AFC East division. A win for them in this game would go a long way. Raheem Mostert out. Some guys in the Bills are out. Who do you like, Kenny?
So here, based on the injuries that I've seen from the Dolphins, Jalen Waddle, he's one of a kind. He goes in and out, in and out, in and out. I think he was listed as out last week and then somehow went back in. Just too many injuries for me. The Bills somehow found a way last week against in my opinion, a good Cardinals team. I'm gonna go Bills here, even though they're away.
Yep. Josh Allen, he is a little banged up. um, which is never good. And it seems like he's had ever since that game against the Jets a couple years ago where he messed up his elbow. He seems like he's always had some type of arm, finger, hand problem going on. I didn't see the play where he got injured, but apparently it was his hand or something like that on a
Is
touchdown.
non-throwing hand,
Not
non-throwing.
throwing hand. Okay, okay, that's good. That's good. The Dolphins again, no Mostert. I do like their offense. I do like Tua. I do think that the
They might not
Dolphins.
have
I
HN.
actually, no. Personally, in my predictions, I actually picked the Dolphins to win the Super Bowl. So I should have said that when I said they picked them to win the division. Um, but I don't know. These games are tough, man. These games are always. I think they did the Bills a little bit of a favor putting this game at night because I remember a couple of years ago this game was like a bloodbath at a 1 o'clock game. I mean, it was just it was a physical game. Tua got knocked around. Josh Allen got knocked around. Um, with all that being said, short week. I'm gonna take the Bills here. I think Jalen Ramsey's a little hurt too. I
Bills
think,
did win both matchups last year. Also, just want to
yeah,
point that
like
out.
I think this might be one of those situations like we know in the NFC West, it's like McVay has Shanahan's number and Shanahan has blah blah blah's number. Like they all alternate who has whose number.
Yeah,
Maybe McDermott's just got Miami's number. I mean, there's no other way kind of would put it. But like I said, that was a tough game a couple years ago. I remember that. It is being at night. It is a short week. I think it's just kind of about availability and who's healthy. Both teams are banged up, but I'll go with the Bills too. I think as
yeah,
tough as it is to say, I think I am going to go with the Bills in this one.
yeah.
Saints, Cowboys, Cowboys.
Saints, Cowboys. Gonna go Cowboys. I just can't find it on my app, but yeah, Cowboys.
Yep, that's about as much Saints talk as we'll do. Raiders and Ravens. I think this is kind of easy.
Yeah,
Don't underestimate the Raiders. I think Antonio Pierce kind of relishes these moments where they're completely left out. Like this could be a close game. I'm not going to say it's going to be a blowout, but as far as to say win, that's a long flight from Vegas to Baltimore. Baltimore's coming off of a kind of like mini bye week because they played Thursday opening night versus the Chiefs. Give me the Ravens.
yeah. I'm with you on the Ravens. Don't think it's gonna be a real close one. I think the Raiders are gonna have a pretty decent season. I'm pretty sure they'll figure it out, kind of like they did the end of last year. Yeah, Ravens coming off that tough loss. Isaiah Likely, I think, got a little banged up towards the end there, but he seemed to be fine. They didn't even really get Mark Andrews going. Who knows what's going to happen when that happens? They have a
Mhm.
lot of different weapons. I wouldn't say they're all like super elite weapons. I mean, Zay Flowers, he's like a upper tier wide receiver. Mark Andrews is a top tier tight end. They have a pretty good O line, obviously, with the Derrick Henry acquisition, a lot more running. Raiders, on the other hand, I mean, their running back's a little iffy right now. They still don't have an identity with that. Defense played not that well last week, if I remember correctly. Um,
It was a, I mean, it was a low scoring game, but I
yeah,
think it was like
who
20th,
they
23,
played the
13,
Chargers 22-10. Yeah, that's right.
22-10.
Which they made a questionable call last. I don't know if you
Fourth and
saw
one from the
fourth.
43 punting.
I don't know about
Yeah.
that. When you're in a game
Analytics
that
would say
close,
go. Yep.
yeah. I mean, Dan Campbell, he's going for it on 4th and 10. You got to at least go 4th and 1 on their side,
Yeah. Yeah. It's bad.
especially in a close game like that. But all that to
Yeah.
say, Ravens. And side note, Richard and I are in a death pool league, and we avoided the Bengals upset last week. So I
We did.
want to give us props there.
We got to give us credit for that. We said, listen, if we can just have the Bengals lose, we'd be in a good spot, and they lost.
Took out
So
like 30 people.
yeah, that was great. So yeah, we'll both hit the Ravens there. But again, that might be we were a Cardinals podcast last year
Yeah.
and a Broncos podcast. We might be a Raiders podcast this
Yeah,
year.
not this year. Broncos podcast. That's got to be out the window.
I do
At
like
least
the
for now.
Broncos.
At least for, well,
Um, Giants, Commanders in DC. Both teams obviously had a disappointing week one. I don't think I don't think the Giants are that bad. I'm just gonna say that. I know that not having Saquon Barkley is tough. I know that that's a lot of your offense that's gone. Excuse me. I don't think Daniel Jones is that bad. He did not play well. And 2022 Daniel Jones is somewhere in there. But I don't know what it's going to take. They do have neighbors. They have some pieces on defense. Um Stable still there. Like I think they just kind of got to work it out. They might have to just play ugly football to win the game. Commanders, Jane Daniels looked really good. He didn't connect on that deep ball to Terry McLaurin. Their offense was a lot of screens. I think the first like 3 throws for him were screens. One went backwards. He's really fast. That's seeing him in person, he's really fast. Um, I'm gonna take the Giants here. I'm just gonna take the Giants, and I think I'm just gonna do it because I think they're not that bad. And when you have a veteran team, the Commanders do have a veteran team. They've added some veteran guys: Bobby Wagner, Austin Eckler. Um, but sometimes the Giants are playing to win. The Commanders are still trying to figure it out. I'm gonna go Giants here.
It's a really, really tough one, but obviously both teams on the lower end of how good they are. Austin Eckler, real quick, last week he got destroyed a couple plays. My Lord,
Destroyed,
that some of the
destroyed.
biggest
I
hits
I
I've ever
literally texted
seen.
in our group chat. I said this is not right. Watching
No,
like it's he
but
won me a championship at 21, and seeing him out there was not right. I remember Austin Eckler. I'm not gonna remember. I will not remember Austin Eckler first Commander days. Let me just say that.
yeah. Hopefully,
I
he
choose not
stays
to remember him
healthy.
this way. Yeah.
Hopefully he stays healthy and he does okay. Commanders, they have some really good weapons. Giants, I don't believe in Danny Dimes. I think he tore his ACL last year. Coming off that, I just don't think he's recouped mentally yet. Obviously he's got some greatness in there. Commanders at home. I do think Jane Daniels is going to get his first win as a rookie, so I'm going to go Commanders.
That's actually a good point. Chargers, Panthers in Carolina, and
Oh
the
yeah.
Dave Canales era. You couldn't have said there's no worse scenario. Maybe a shutout, I guess, is the only worst scenario. But that was unbelievably bad, to say the least. Just surprising because I personally thought that they could possibly go into New Orleans and beat them. And it's gonna take. Listen, the Bucks. I know they won Week 1 versus Minnesota last year with Dave Canales at the helm as offensive coordinator. The Bucks offense was not humming until probably Week 16 versus the Jaguars. Like that's just a fact. It took a long time for it to develop. I don't think that what we saw last Sunday is what's going to be the Panthers' future for the next 17 weeks. I don't believe that at all. I think they're going to get better. I think it's going to be a lot of this. Um, I don't know if they win this game, but I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a close game just because the Chargers aren't there yet either. Um, but if the Chargers pass rush gets to Bryce Young, then it might be a blowout. But I think that Canales is going to put him in situations, maybe dump the ball quickly, a lot of handoffs, a lot of quick screens. That's a long flight from LA to Carolina, just like I said about Vegas. So I'm going to take I'm going to take the Chargers, but this could be a close game.
If we ever get merch, we're gonna get a shirt that says "That's a long flight."
That's a long flight.
that
That's a long flight, man.
that'd be a fire shirt.
That's a long flight.
I'm gonna go Chargers here. I'm with Richard though. I do think there could be a glimmer of hope in the future for the Panthers. They do. It's a young team. They're obviously in rebuild mode. They got rid of Brian Burns over the offseason they sent him to the Giants,
Yeah.
which that's obviously a big piece of their defense. I'm gonna go Chargers here though. I think I don't know if they're going to keep it close, in my opinion. I think they'll probably win by like maybe 7 or 10, which I guess is close if you think about it. But I think they're
Yeah.
going to ground it.
Compared to last week, yes.
Yeah. I think they're going to ground and pound it. I mean, Chargers beat the Raiders by like 12. I think the Raiders are like slightly above the Panthers. So maybe they'll win by 14. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm going Chargers.
Yep. Um, Colts and Packers in Green Bay season home opener.
Oh,
The Packers after the Sao Paulo game de Brazil. That wasn't really a Brazilian accent. Um, yeah, obviously Jordan Love. That's the biggest question mark about this game. His knee, it looked like it popped, to be honest. I mean, I think it did pop. But luckily no structural damage, I believe. I believe they're calling it an MCL sprain,
Yep.
which I think is what Puka is dealing with right now, and he's on IR. So a lot of question marks. If I am the Packers, I am not putting Jordan Love out there at all under any circumstances. It's week 2. They were one of the teams last year that came back. They were like 6-8, I believe, and ran the table and made the playoffs. Like it's very, very early to put your quarterback, your 250, 40, whatever $1 million quarterback at risk. Um, with all that being said, I do like the Colts. I think
Yep.
regardless of if Jordan Love played or not, because I think if Jordan Love does play, he's not going to be 100%. Jonathan Taylor, he's going to get the ball a lot. Anthony Richardson showed a lot of flashes. Only threw 9 passes last week. I don't know if that was by design. But the Colts just got a gritty team, man. Shane Steichen's just gritty. That guy, he's only his second year as a head coach. He looks like he's been doing it for 10 years. So I am going to take the Colts to go into Green Bay. It's going to be tough seeing the Packers start 0-2. I like the Packers. I like LaFleur. But that's going to be a tough game without Jordan Love healthy. So I'm going to go Packers. I mean, Colts.
Yeah. So just want to confirm, I did do a fact check on Google. Puka Nacua has a PCL injury. So
PCL.
it's just a different, I think, ligament in your
Just a
knee.
different CL.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of them, I think. But anyways, I'm with you. I'm on the Colts. Packers. I don't believe Malik Willis at all. He played a little bit for the Titans. I don't think he's ever started before, so this is gonna be his first ever start. Maybe somehow the grace of God, he plays well, but I like the Colts. They played really gritty, like you said last week. They are going to be in Lambeau, which is never been there, really want to, but I'm sure it's going to be a tough environment. They do have Josh Jacobs. They do have Emmanuel Wilson that looked pretty flashy last week. O-line, I believe, is pretty strong for the Packers. Defense, like last week they did kind of They let up a lot of points to I believe the Texans, or no, I'm thinking of the Colts. Sorry.
Packers play the Eagles.
Yeah, Packers played the Eagles, which that they made that competitive, but I think a big part of that was Jordan Love. I'm a big Jordan Love believer. But I'm gonna go Colts here.
Yeah, I think Malik Willis has started, but he got quickly replaced by
Was it no, not Tannehill?
not
Was it
the
Levis?
he's an astronaut.
That doesn't help me.
He was in Minnesota last year. He's on San Fran. Now with the Tennessee.
That's
What's
gonna
his
bother
name?
me.
What's his name? Josh Dobbs.
Yep,
Yep,
Josh Dobbs. Yep,
Josh
that.
Dobbs.
Wait, he was on the freaking Titans?
Yeah, he was there for like 3 or 4 games.
Jeez,
It's
bro.
just what Josh Dobbs just he
He's
comes
the
and he goes,
ultimate
man. He's
journeyman.
just there. He's just a 4 game guy. You just rent Josh Dobbs. You don't. He's not there for the whole year. He just goes. He bounces from team to team.
Does
I
he have a
love it.
family, man? Jeez, okay, that's gotta be
He's on the move,
stressful.
man. He's living life. He's living
That's
life.
that's a lot.
Um. Okay, 49ers Vikings.
49ers.
Probably no CMC. In Minnesota, Minnesota played great last week. Shout out to Jared. I knew I said it, but I just didn't remember that I said it, but I always believed it in my heart. Sam Darnold is not a bad quarterback. He is not. He is proving it. I think he's going to continue. Listen, is he going to light it up? No, but he could have the same kind of, I know this is so cliche and so easy to do, but whatever. He could have the same kind of progression as Baker did last year, where a
I
guy
thought
is
you were
just
gonna say
forgotten.
Kirk.
No, not Kirk.
Because
A
Kirk had
Baker,
kind of had a
where
slow start.
well, I mean, Kirk was when he got to Minnesota, he was established.
True.
He was like he was getting tagged by Washington like year after year. And then they fully guaranteed him a contract, so he could have that same progression as Baker, as they both were in Carolina a couple years ago. Um, they both struggled to start their career. Same draft. Baker was picked first. Sam Darnold picked third by Todd Bowles. Um, give him Justin Jefferson. Give him Aaron Jones. Give him Hawkinson. See what happens. I know TJ Hawkinson's hurt right now, but um, I'm gonna take the Vikings in this spot. I am. I'm not super high on the 49ers. I think they had a really emotional win last week with no CMCs, Monday Night Football, Aaron Rodgers, Salah. Give me the Vikings in Minnesota in the bank to pull this one off. They beat them a couple years ago on Monday Night Football as well. So maybe they got their number. Give me the Vikes.
I'm going to take the 49ers here. I just think the 49ers are a really good team, obviously. Excuse me. Jordan Mason, I don't expect him to have as good of a game as he did last time. That was kind of like he had that little slip up. I think people underestimate the human brain. Like he had a slip up
Yeah,
last week that
that's.
was huge, like about revealing the information about being a starter Friday night. And then
I mean,
after in the press conference, he looked pretty flustered. So
it's just like people are freaking out because of gambling. He didn't do that. The Niners didn't do. McCaffrey's on the. They're comparing us to Burrow. The difference between McCaffrey and Burrow. Burrow was not on the injury report. That's illegal. You can't not disclose an injury. That is
true.
illegal. McCaffrey was always questionable. They don't have to designate him as doubtful or out. That's just gamesmanship. That's just smart. So yeah, whatever. Bettors are upset, but I hope the Bucks do that with some of their players to hide them up. Like I think Kalijah Cansey wasn't out until Sunday or maybe Saturday night. Like
Yeah, it's
not a big
just
deal.
the
It's
fantasy,
unfortunate that
the
he got
fantasy
that he
world.
yeah. It's unfortunate that he got scolded for that. Tough
But
question, but
yeah,
learning lesson for him now and any young players. Don't tell them. Say right before game time they told me, something like
yeah.
that. So
I mean, I feel bad. He was like on top of the world, just had like
yeah,
the best
his
game of
his
his
moment got
life.
ruined. His
Yeah,
whole
by
family's
a
there and everything.
by a
Yeah.
reporter. But I mean, live and you learn. But yeah, I'm going to take 49ers. I'm with Richard, though. I do think Sam Darnold's going to progress and be a better quarterback. I don't think they're going to have Jordan Addison this week, which hurts. Obviously, it doesn't hurt a ton, but it hurts because he's a really good weapon. But I'm going Niners.
Yep. Browns and Jaguars in Jacksonville. Um, Again, one of those teams, the Browns, I don't think really could have gone it. Apparently, I didn't watch the game. I was at the Bucks game.
It was ugly.
Yeah, apparently it was just brutal. Um, a lot of stuff surrounding Deshaun. Not even going to touch that. It's just, it's tough, man. The Browns were a great team not a great team. They were a good team last year, and I do believe that Joe Flacco wasn't re-signed because of moments like this. Like if Joe Flacco's on this team right now, there's a conversation of if he's starting week 2. You take him out, there's no conversation. It's clearly Deshaun. I know they got Jameis back there, but yeah, I mean, that's tough. I mean, when people talk about the Browns defense, they got a lot of points were put on them. Like it wasn't just the offense being bad, it was a total team effort. They just weren't good enough. Um and the Jags are gonna jag, man. Like they were up. It was about to be 24-10. They were up 17-10. Then the fumble, Tyreek touchdown, then they went for it on their own 33 or something like that. Just not smart by Doug Peterson, in my opinion, but I do believe the Jags are a very good football team. I have them win the AFC South. I'm going to go Jags in this spot.
Yeah, I'm going to go Jags too. I think it's going to be a pretty low scoring game, like 41
Yeah.
and a half. I see is over under. That seems high to me. Um, Maybe under game. I don't know. I don't do that betting stuff. It's actually is legal nowadays. But I'm gonna go Jags here. I think both offenses. You look at both of them. There's just a big question mark over both of
Yeah.
them. We only have 1 week of to look at. Trevor Lawrence. I don't think he's developed into the superstar that people thought he was going to be yet. I mean, I'm not saying it's not in the cards. He's very young. I think he's like 24. So he's
He's got to be
still,
super young.
yeah, I think he's like 24. Somebody fact check me on that, please, in the comments. But yeah, I'm gonna go Jags here. Again, both defenses I think are played pretty well last week. Both offenses. We'll see what happens. I could totally see the Browns stealing this game somehow, but I'm gonna go Jags.
We got the Seahawks traveling to New England. You know, I'm about to say it's a long flight, man. Seattle to Boston, that is cross country.
That's a long one.
But I'm not gonna really overthink this. I think the Patriots played really hard. I think they played really gritty, and I think they got extremely lucky versus Cincinnati. The Gesicki dropped a touchdown. They fumbled right before they got in the end zone. They could have easily lost that game. I actually picked the Broncos to beat the Seahawks last week, and turns out that Geno's still pretty good, and the Seahawks still have a pretty good roster even without Pete Carroll. So I'm not going to overthink this one. I'm just going to take the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm not even really gonna comment. I mean, Patriots played really well last week. It's a crazy upset, but I don't see them repeating that. I'm gonna go Seahawks as well.
Yep. Jets Titans in Tennessee, Nissan Stadium. Um, Short week for the Jets, obviously coming off Monday Night Football. Aaron Rodgers still got a live arm. That's for sure. Same thing with it's just with the greats, their arms. I mean, Peyton's arm went at the end, but Brady's arm was still live. Aaron's arm is still live.
He's got some zip.
Yeah, he did. That was vintage Rodgers right there with that offside to Lazard. That was awesome. That was actually awesome to see. It does look a little gimpy. Um, Natural. I mean, he's 40 years old, busts his Achilles. That's like, I'm 27 and 26. If I bust my Achilles, I'd be done for life. But I am going to take the Jets. The Titans did not look good, and losing to Caleb Williams and the Bears week 1 is not a good sign. It's not, but they are in the rebuilding mode. They are retooling, restarting in a way. Fired Vrabel, didn't agree with that decision at all.
No, I didn't either.
But Brian Callahan is, I believe, in all accounts, a good coach. I believe coming from Cincinnati. So we'll see. He's got to develop Will Levis. He's got to develop these guys. They have some veteran pieces in Pollard and Hopkins. But I'm gonna go Jets here.
Yeah. I hate to pick the same as you again, but I'm kind of like-minded right
Wait, man,
now.
we're boom, boom, boom.
I like the Jets here also. Titans, do want to make a quick comment on that? I do think because they also added Ridley as well. I think they did do a good job of kind of like piecing together, a bunch of pieces that were all just like, it was like a puzzle, and they
Yeah.
pieced it together pretty well to support Will Levis. They got him some pretty decent weapons. What we saw last week was tough. I mean, that guy, like, he started off so well. He was like slinging the rock. Tony Pollard had a really good game. I'm hoping he keeps that up. I have him in fantasy in a few leagues. But yeah, I'm gonna go Jets here. I do think it's a really good bounce back spot for them, even though it is away. Um, is that a long flight from New York to Tennessee? I don't know.
Nah, it should be
No,
all
it's a
right.
short flight. But
Short,
yeah, I'm gonna go
two
Jets. I'm
hours.
gonna go Jets.
Yeah.
Won't accentuate anymore.
Rams, Cardinals in Arizona. This is a little bit of a tough game. This is a tough
Ooh.
game because I like both these teams, and I have the Rams to win the NFC West. Um, I'm gonna go Rams. I really am. I do not think that the Cardinals are there yet to like favor them at home. I don't think that the Cardinals should be favored at home just yet. Excuse me. Um, Kyler looked good. Offense looked good. Defense didn't look so great. Rams, offense and defense look good. They had unfortunately they should have probably won in Detroit.
They did lose like 4 O linemen. I want to
They
point that
did.
out.
They did do a lot. They did lose some linemen up front. The Cardinals, I don't think they have a great up front.
No, they don't.
Um, so this could be a high scoring game, to be honest with you, if the defenses don't show up. But I think the Rams are going to win. I think McVay knows the Stafford Cup connection is back. They're doing that thing again where like the ball goes to him every other play. Kyron looked really good, even as a punt returner. Like didn't affect his running at all. Um, Give me the Rams. Give me McVay. Give me Stafford. Give me Cup.
Yeah,
Give me the Rams.
yeah. I don't like this pick, but I do like it at the same time. I guess mixed emotions. I'm going Cardinals because just the Rams are so banged up, man. Um, I'm a Kyron truther. I mean, I think Richard knows that. I love Kyron. I just think he's a really good running back. He's a workhorse. I mean, I do have him in fantasy. I grabbed him off the waivers last year, so I guess I just have a little connection. Like, I feel like I kind of
You
like
yeah. You
discovered
like
him.
you like yeah. You like
I
yeah. You
I discovered him in a way.
yeah.
But no, Cardinals, they played really well last week. This does feel like a bit trap. Like I'm from what I'm seeing, the public is hammering the Cardinals here at
Mm.
home. Looks like they're a 1 point favorite right now, which I do not like at all. So the only reason I'm hesitant on this pick. But what I saw last week, that offense was rolling. It didn't even involve Marvin Harrison really. So I'm sure he'll at least get more than what he did last week. I think he had 1 catch for like 4 yards. So he'll be more involved. They didn't even use Trey McBride that much. They have so many weapons. I think they were throwing the ball mostly like Greg Dortch and like Michael Wilson had a touchdown. So it was weird how their offense was. So we haven't even really seen the full potential. Kyler looks
Yeah.
really good this year. I think he's going to have a very good year. I do think the Rams are also a very good football team, but I'm going to go Cardinals.
Steelers Broncos in Mile High. Um, I really like the Broncos. For years I couldn't stand Sean Payton, and I unfortunately just have it engraved in my brain that that guy knows what he's doing for better or worse. And I do think that moving on from Russ was a good decision. Now, is the Bo Nix draft pick a good decision? That's to be determined. But from all accounts, it seems like Bo Nix. I mean, the guy spent like 5 years in college, so he's not really that young. Um, didn't have a great game last week, but apparently there were a lot of drops. The line wasn't helping out the most, according to Sean. That could be just Sean saying, I picked a good guy, kind of bolstering a little bit. Um, but I do believe in the Broncos. It's tough to go into Mile High. It's tough. The Steelers are not that good of a football team, to be honest. They have a really good defense. It's the same story that's been since like the end of the Ben era, the AB Ben, the Triple B era. Not a really good offense, a really good defense. That's just Steeler football. Shout out to Jake. Um, but you know what? I am going to take the Broncos here. I think they're going to get it done. I think it's going to be gritty. I think it's going to be nasty. I don't think Justin Fields is the answer in Pittsburgh. I don't really know if Russ is either, and I really would love to have seen Russ play in Denver again. Don't think that's going to happen. I think his calf is screwed up, so I'm going to go with the Broncos here.
Yeah, I'll make my explanation quick. I'm going to go Steelers. I'm just not bullish on the Broncos this year. Bo Nix, Bo Nix was just like, it looked like he was just kind of flinging it last week. He actually did look pretty quick on the ground. They're still trying to figure out who's going to be their lead back. They might just stick with the committee. Who knows? I have Javante, so I'm also biased there. But
I have Jaleel.
uh, oh, there you go. So yeah, Broncos. I think they have some decent weapons. Steelers, Justin Fields. He's so sporadic. I mean, the Broncos can easily win this game, but I'm going to go Steelers.
Bengals Chiefs. What a game. What a week 2 game, man.
That's a
What a
good.
game. That is definitely gonna be on CBS. I don't know, Jim. I
It
don't
is.
know.
Yeah.
Yep. Dude, if the Bengals always start slow, but if T Higgins is healthy, Jamar Chase had a contract, like even if they played the way they did last week, I still would pick Bengals because there is something to be said about like having that mental edge on your opponent. And I think for some reason the Bengals are just in the Chiefs' head. I know that they lost the AFC Championship to them in 22. Um, but I don't know, man. There's just something about it, and I don't think the Chiefs the Chiefs are the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are just the new Patriots where they're going to win the AFC West every year. They're going to be good. They're going to have 10, 11 wins, 12 wins, whatever. But this Bengals team is fascinating because they could be so good or they could do what they did last week. Losing Joe Mixon, I think, hurt a little bit. Um, but because of everything going wrong with them, around with them, and it being described as a quote toxic building, I'm going to take the Chiefs in this spot.
Yeah, I'm taking Chiefs. I'm just not overthinking it. That video of Joe Burrow messing with his wrist, which I actually saw he commented on it in the press conference after, saying that he didn't even notice he was doing that and like kind of try to brush it off. I don't buy it. I just can't get over that. If your throwing wrist is all messed up, we have some friends in a different chat explaining that they've actually gotten similar surgery and their wrist is all effed up. I don't know. I'm having a hard time, putting my backing to that. So I'm going Chiefs.
Bears and Texans, Sunday Night Football. A little surprising this is Sunday Night Football, but Caleb Williams gets eyes, and the Texans have a bunch of players now. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Texans here.
I'm
Don't
taking I'm
think,
taking the
yeah,
Texans. I don't think Caleb's doing. They're not going to win again.
yeah.
They are going to
They
win the season, but not this game.
yeah, not this game. Great game. Falcons Eagles. I believe our brother Jared might be in attendance. He was texting
Really?
me about
Wow,
about going up to Philly. He's got a nice Deshaun Jackson jersey. Shout out to Jared.
that's pretty awesome.
Um, Eagles Falcons. Falcons look horrendous. That's just what it is. No bias at all. A lot of people can say I'm biased. I'm not biased. They look terrible. Um, did I say they look terrible? Okay, yeah, the Falcons. I think that the Falcons are going to be better. Do they play better versus the Eagles in Philly in Monday Night Football home opener? No. That's not to mean that the Falcons are not going to be competitive. They're probably going to be tough for the Bucks. The Bucks are going to win the NFC South. Um, but the Eagles are going to win this game. Just the way about it. They've had a nice couple days of rest. Sao Paulo, they got that all out of their system. They're going to their Saquon's first home game in the link. Give me the Eagles.
Yeah. Quick for me, just Eagles Falcons tough week last week. I'm sure they'll start piecing things together as time goes on. Kirk looks like he's kind of getting back in the swing of things. It's crazy to me that I didn't like the Penix pick when they did it, but now I kind of like it. I don't know why. I just feel like it's
The
it's
even
it's gonna be a
even
nice transition.
Yeah, even but the just the weird part about it though is that if you had that much conviction about Penix, I mean, okay, Kirk's deal is pretty much 2 years, 100 million, which is pretty much what kind of Baker's is like 2 years, 60 and 3 year 90. But if you liked him that much, like why even mess with like you don't have a veteran ready to win now roster like
Yeah,
John's year 2, Drake London's year 3, Kyle Pitts is year 5 or whatever. Like Penix is like 26. He could have like
true. I
develop
really, yeah,
with
he's
those guys.
old.
You know what I mean? Like it just if like that's like there's two ends to it. Like okay, like the Penix pick isn't that bad, then why'd you sign Kirk? The Penix pick is bad, you signed Kirk. Like it's confusing to say
I
the
was
least.
thinking, yeah, I was thinking of like I'm a Jordan Love truther. I've said that already. Like, he got a few years. I like it when they have a little bit of time
Yeah.
to adjust to the league and not have to get thrown in right away. I guess, I mean,
If this if
Drake
this is
May's doing it right
healthy,
now with Jacoby Brissett. So I guess it doesn't have to be
yeah.
Kirk, but
If this is healthy Kirk Cousins and it's like but like 36-year-old torn Achilles Kirk Cousins, like he looked a little scared. Not
yeah,
scared. He looked
looks slow. Like
different.
he's look immobile, basically.
Yeah, he could move in the pocket a lot last year, and he was moving in the pocket when he tore his Achilles last year. But
Yeah. I'm going Eagles,
um,
by the way. I don't know if I said
Eagles,
that.
me too. And then our last game, of course, Bucks Lions. We're banged up. I'm not even gonna lie, we're banged up. Secondary is in shambles right now. We got our boy Keenan Isaac back from the Panthers. Um, Listen, I'm not gonna be worried if we lose Detroit week 2. I'm not gonna pick the Lions. I'm picking the Bucks, but I'm not going to sit here and boo-hoo if the Bucks lose to the Lions week 2. It's going to be tough. I think we're going to play our ass off. I think the offense is still going to be humming. I think the Lions are coming off an emotional victory. That always plays a factor. This could be a really close game. Might come down to the turnover battle. Who gets some more interceptions? Jared Goff looked a little shaky. Baker Mayfield looked great. Maybe that's to our advantage. Maybe we get a strip sack from Yaya Diaby. That could be the difference. So I'm talking myself into the Bucks. So I'm going to go Bucks.
Yeah, I mean, but we're a Bucks podcast
Yeah.
clearly. I'm gonna go Bucks, no question about it. We do have some pretty bad injuries. I mean, losing Antoine Winfield for a couple weeks, that's gonna hurt a lot. Our offense seemed like it was still pretty intact, like from an injury standpoint. We got Jalen McMillan rising as a rookie, which I just absolutely love to see that. First game starting, catches a touchdown. Obviously that's awesome. And yeah, I mean the Lions, they are a really, really good football team. Obviously, will not be surprised if they beat us, but
When
I gotta stick with the Bucks.
win the turn. There's three things I think that if we do, we win this game. Win the turnover battle. Defense applies pressure to the quarterback. We need if Kancey plays, that's huge. Vita, Yaya, Braswell, even Tryon Shoyinka. He had 1.5 sacks last week. That was awesome to see. Win the turnover battle. QB pressure. Attack Carlton Davis and Terrion Arnold. Attack them. Push it. Just target Carlton Davis every single play. If Terrion Arnold is 1-on-1 with Mike Evans, I don't know. I don't care what the play is. Check. Mike. Kill. Give the ball to Mike Evans. If we do those three things, we walk out there with a win, even with us being banged up.
Which I think we'll do. And you actually threw me for a loop there. I forgot Carlton Davis on the Lions now.
Yep.
I was like, wait a minute, you're pro Lions, but yeah, forgot. But yeah, no, I'm with you, man. We got Mike, we got Chris Godwin, who looked really good last week.
Yep.
Rashad White looked good. Bucky Irving looked good. Our
Yep.
O-line looked good. I mean, we looked like a really, really good
We're a
football
good football team. We are a good football. I'm not gonna let anybody else tell me that we're not a good football team because we are a good football team.
Even
So
Joe Tryon had a really couple nice hits I saw. Like
I think he either had 2 sacks or 1.5 sacks, but that you never see that from JTS. So that was awesome to see.
Yeah, if he balls out, I mean, who knows?
KJ Britt looks like he's very comfortable in the middle linebacker kind of captain-esque of the defense. I know we still have Levante, but yeah, I mean, listen, we still got Jordan Whitehead back there. Christian Azian played a lot last year, so he's not foreign to playing. We still got Jamel Dean. Like, obviously, having Winfield hurt stinks, but we're not like dead. Like we can be fine, and we can go into Detroit and win this game easily.
Yeah. Don't sleep on the Bucks.
Don't sleep on the Bucks. But that's it. That's the last game of the week.
Yeah, I'll end it unfortunately on a bad note. Kenneth Walker did not practice today. Sorry, Richard.
Dang.
But who knows? Never know.
That's kind of par for the course with K-Dub.
Yeah, he's always banged up.
Oh, who do I even have? Oh boy, nobody. All right. Yeah, that's it. So you got anything else? You got anything else you want to say to the fans?
No, appreciate everybody watching. This episode's probably gonna be a little longer than what you're used to because we've made some upgrades to our studio.
Yeah.
We might even do
still not sponsored, but
No.
if you want to sponsor it.
No, but maybe we do an in-person, episode one of these days.
In the works. That could happen.
We're both, got Richard starting a full-time thing, and I am doing a full-time thing. So we are busy people, but we might make it happen. We'll see. But yeah, look forward to it next week. We'll be back. We're back in business.
It's amazing. We should start like a shout out list of just the best listener, the BL list.
I think the most
BL
passionate,
the best the MPL most passionate listener.
I would probably give my vote to Jared. To be honest,
Jared, and okay, so we have our first two. Okay, yours is Jared, mine's Melvin.
Melvin, yeah, we'll see if I gotta send a link in my family chat. We'll see if Melvin still supports. I'm sure he will. He's always he's a big supporter.
So there's a little incentive if you want to be the MPL.
Yeah,
make it known.
And I gotta shout out my girlfriend Giselle. Much love.
Shout out my fiance Mackenzie. I can't
not
do that after you do that.
I mean, you gotta do that. You know what I'm saying? And my family, I love you.
Yeah, and my fam too. Anybody else you want to do? So I gotta do it after you.
I mean, you said shout outs, bro. I gotta give.
Shout out our dogs. My dog passed away.
That's not funny.
All right.
That's not funny. All right. See you next week.
Peace.